This is a message to the man like CULLAN MAIS, Central Club Podcast, from your old mates, Del Boy Diablo, American Hooligan, Diablo TV. Like and subscribe, do the things you're supposed to do, Huey. Cardiff Baby Huey. The Hair-On Kid. Fat Boy Slim. I don't know, we can go with it. See, here's the thing. You're too dim-witted to try to outfox a geezer like me, champ. Didn't work out for you. Everybody can see what you're doing. Everybody see what you try to create this false narrative. How does it look now? Oh, the guy's boxing champion, martial arts fighter, but also that publicity stunt for the zone boxing that you knew I was in, the lead negotiations. Here's the thing. He's sitting, CULLAN is, Huey, like he's sitting on a damn blueberry pie. He's sitting on loads of footage of me, daddy. Loads of footage. And here's the problem with it, is that he wanted me to do what I see these other streamers do. They go around messing with people for no reason, and like this Vitali chap, and I see the other ones that's in Korea and everything like that. So I didn't realize that people went around doing that, just messing with people for no reason to get views or whatever. The Jack Doherty. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know about that stuff when I was meant to work with CULLAN. I was writing out stuff to try to make a TV show for hip hop, for HEMA, swordplay, different stuff like that, and comedic stuff I was trying to think of. In first few days of filming, okay, so we went Cardiff Market. We had a Welsh cake, so I did all this acting. It's not acting, it's me being myself. But I did all this performing, and the women agreed to it, and everybody agreed to it. It was across from Knight's Vintage, man, like Jacob, good dude, right? And they had me film having a Welsh cake, and I bigged it up, and it was brilliant. That's an awesome scene. I think it is. Is it going to get a lot of views? Maybe not, but the people in Cardiff Market would like it. The people in Cardiff would like it, and it shows culture, the Welsh cake. Then there's another one. The geezer tells me, oh yeah, Jacob's going to pay you 50 quid to work all day in the store and, take pictures of people and that sort of thing. So I went there and I worked in the store, allegedly. Basically I sat around him and his mates talking and taking pictures and stuff like that, which I'm happy to do. But then the fact of the matter is, he didn't pay me. And then he gave me a piece of clobber, right? But he didn't pay me and I didn't want to ask for it. So then, at the end though, he gave me a shirt and stuff, and then basically I hit him back because I didn't like the shirt. I liked it on camera. I don't wear button downs, so I liked it on camera. When he gave it to me, it was Lacoste, bomb, but I didn't really like it. And then, then I broke up with the. Anyway, I didn't get the money, and then basically I messaged him like, yo, CULLAN told me you're gonna give me 50 quid. He's like, no, I didn't. He's like, I never heard of that. And I was like, well, brother, no problem. I had fun. I said, to be honest with you, though, I don't like this shirt. I said, what I do like in your shop, as you guys have seen, a banging Fred Perry tracky, oxblood in burgundy color. I said, brother, I really like that. Can I have that? He said, of course you can, Del. So I went and picked it up and, said what's up to him. But I stayed there for like 5 hours. I did loads of footage for CULLAN, and we talked about cool stuff, hardcore. These guys were all in the hardcore scene. They had a band like Colorblind Cutthroats, like hip hop and hardcore type of stuff mixed. It was called Astro Boy, I think. Met the man that was in that band. Anyway, how brilliant thing. Then HEMA, Historical European Martial Arts. I had been talking to him about it and telling him that I wanted to get Ennis Abraham in it. There's so many layers to dissect. Okay, so we're on the way to do the podcast with Tommy. I'm in a vehicle with Peter MAIS and CULLAN MAIS, and we're getting ready to go do it, and we're going to get coffee and stuff like that. And I'm just talking about, I'm talking about, and I can see these junkies, they have tells, they can't help it, and it's just that CULLAN was acting weird. So I knew something was up with this pot, and let alone what's waiting for me there. A contingent of EDL. Why are we going to the middle of the country? Well, it's Caerphilly, but it was countryside Caerphilly. No signs in English. And I'm with these guys by myself, obviously unarmed. What's waiting for me over there? Why are we not just doing this in your studio? They got a big studio. Why are we going to this special location? Then I get there and there's a boxing ring and a referee, boxing gloves. Okay, I see where this is going. But so we're on the truck on the way there. Here's one I haven't told you yet. This is a funny one. So forward this to Mr. Abraham. This is good. So we're going to get coffee, you know, and he's looking like sketched out, you know. So I'm like, all right, you know. And then we're getting coffee, and then I'm saying no because we had planned out to do a date. There's a HEMA group. I already forgot their name. Historical European Martial Arts. I ain't practiced it for a while because I don't have the weapons. I got at odds with the guild. Long story, but HEMA, Historical European Martial Arts, my favorite scar from a longsword. Usage of longsword, rapier, steel swords. You know, so it's heavy. Anyway, I want to expose it to the community to show Cardiff that this exists. And particularly, I was talking about Mr. Anis Abraham because he's the millionaire hooligan. And this is an expensive hobby. You know, the swords are some 500 quid and stuff. It's an expensive hobby, but it's very elegant and traditional European martial arts. Sword martial arts, weapon martial arts. So I was talking to him about inviting Mr. Anis Abraham to the HEMA and he, you know, getting him to do some practice. And I'm telling him, hey man, can you invite him to that segment? And he's like, Dell, like we're in the car now. He's like, Dell, aren't you nervous? And you let me know with something. I'm like, instead of why should I be nervous? You know? It's not going to be any fight. It's not going to be a problem. Da, da, da. He had like tried to assure me all that, but now you're telling me, aren't you nervous? You know, you're about to go do this, and you're talking behind this Abraham. And I was like, yeah, and I'm like, chain gang shit. Like, it would have been the same thing if those guys were on my side, and that's what you do. What? In jail, you know me, you can wind the guy up. Because how come this? How come that? What is that? You're getting up, standing up, and stuff like that. Sooner or later, the other guy's gonna get up and stand up. But Tommy never did that, you know. I did it first. But I was trying to make him stand up. Because once he stand up, now we could do and break it up. That's the way I planned it. Didn't work out that way, obviously. But, so I'm just saying, I knew that they were taking it real serious. And they were going to a secret location. I'm by myself. I get it. Something's gonna happen. But I knew I would get my stuff in there that I practiced the night before. All the little, he didn't use that. Why? The funniest thing of the whole Tommy thing is I did the same thing on the gunman. I got the goggles up. I practiced it the night before. Looking in the mirror, I was practicing what I'm going to wear. I put the goggles up, and to me, I looked like an evil astronaut. I was picturing being like on a space center mission, international mission in the space center, you know, oh, there's Russian there's different delegations, and then there's this one guy all black. And I said, who's he? Oh, I'm not sure. This guy's not from any particular country, and I'm outside pulling all the cords. Hey, what are you doing? A rogue astronaut. So then I look in the mirror, and I figured that I was going to walk out, and that sooner or later, like, somebody's going to have to say something. So they say, oh, you all right, Dell? I went. I did that, but they cut it out. Why? Because it's going to make the thing look silly? It was silly. They didn't know what I was doing. So, yeah, so Mr. Anis Abraham, at the end, if you see the bit they used, it says, he had a good go then. I was talking about Tommy, because he let me. And I got that from the Soul Crew documentary, because it's Bristol Rovers, I believe, and it's real footage from the bill. And, you know, putting a case against the Soul Crew, and you hear Mr. Anis Abraham, they're showing him, he says, they had a good go then. Bristol, they had a good go then. You would have got done. So the thing is, I imitate that. I want to put it in a song. I want to make music with that. And that's what I was imitating at the end. That was the shout out to Mr. Anis Abraham. And then there's more footage, brother. There's Big Ram, that chap, he was an ex-screw, ex-jail guard who they got for the referee. What they didn't anticipate, he's got a Krav Maga shirt. I'm a martial arts man. These guys aren't martial arts men. So they didn't anticipate the camaraderie that me and him would have. So we started talking about martial arts ahead of time. So they show one time where he's talking, but he did another one. And Cullen released it. The cat's out of the bag. So he's like, because once I wasn't gonna bite Peter, so I was playing along with the thing, but I'm being attacked, but it's manageable. But now, okay, wrestling star, I'm talking to him, all right, stand on top of me, da-da-da. Okay, but that's not working. So then after a while, fuck this, the guy's, you know, popping around like a I don't know, Jack Russell or whatever they're saying. So then after a while, I said, oh, fuck this. Okay, so I freed my head, because my head was fucking completely exposed. The defenses, I got one punch, I said, oh no. And he went straight down with full power, and it was nothing, but still, I put my head on the other side where I have one arm to defend, and I was defending. But then I got sick. That's a very unenviable position. I got my face, and I got one hand, and a big 300-pound bloke is on top of me. So then I said, okay, fuck this, I'm gonna choke him, you know. So then I started grabbing his jacket and pulling him in to then do a gi choke on him with one arm. Would have been easy. That man Ram saw that. He says it in the video. He says, yo, I saw you. He said, I know you know jiu-jitsu, and I saw you grabbing him and pull him in. That's when I choked him out. So he was waiting. They were giving him time to do something, but the guy's ineffective. Anyway, so there's that footage, and there's other cool footage, man. They got other cool footage. It's just that it's babyface. It's me walking around being myself, and I'm generally a nice guy. And that wasn't what Cullen was trying to portray, and he's not. He's what he's not trying to portray. But speaks for itself. People could believe it. I put him over in the promo. You know, I let him win in the promo, more or less. You got what you wanted there. You got your viral content. Bothering me about making viral content. Me being polite to the Welsh cake lady in the Cardiff market and hanging around with Jacob and his mates talking about hardcore and punk and skateboarding. That's not viral content. But that's really how I am. So then, you know, oh, we need some viral content. We need some viral content. Would you do a left first right podcast versus Tommy Robinson? I says, mate, whatever you want me to do, I'll do. You've invested in me and stuff like that. I was like, but I'm not into that anymore. I'm not into politics. I'm not into that. And I'm third position, and you know, anyway. So, Cullen MAIS, Cardiff Baby Huey. Release some of that footage you're sitting on, champ. What are you waiting for? The HEMA people would love to have their footage out. You only put one little section where the guy was saying, oh, he needs to practice more. I hadn't done it for 5 years before I got there. You know what I mean? I acknowledge that, but I still know what I'm doing. And I'll fight with real weapons, with sharps. They don't do that.